Hey guys, how are you? Happy Monday. Welcome into the latest edition of the Daily Juice podcast right here on BettingPros.com. Always being brought to you by BetMGM. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at What? I'm good, thank you. I'm taping. Bye. All right, do that again. Coming down 3, 2, and 1. What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into the Monday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. We're here every single morning on BettingPros.com, always being brought to you by BetMGM. You guys on YouTube who are watching this, if you're listening to it across wherever you get your podcasts, still keep doing that. But we are on video. If you want video, we have that every morning now on bettingpros.com, also on YouTube. But there's an offer right above me, the BetMGM offer, $20 to win $100. Use that promo code JUICE100 when you sign up at betmgm.com or on the BetMGM app. And if you're in DC, you get a up to $600 risk-free first bet in DC with a new account with BetMGM. Okay, so yesterday, 2-3 is not horrible, but it's losing. 1-2 on our half unit bets and 1-1 on the player props. So we're down a little over a half a unit for the day. Not good, don't like it, but the Phoenix Suns came through for us and Chris Paul played incredibly well. There's going to be ad nauseum breakdown for Nikola Jokic getting ejected. Was it a flagrant 2? Letter of the law, yeah. He swung with bad intentions. Yep. He wound up. Yep. Can you do that? Can you put yourself at risk? Can you put your team at risk for in a game where your team is facing elimination? No. Just boneheaded all the way around. CP3 dominated that series. Chris Paul, look, we need to stop voting for the MVP in the regular season. We need to make it happen for the entire season. Regular season and playoffs. It all has to factor in. Jokic was not the MVP. I think everybody knows that. That's why I've been calling where's the heat, where are the hit pieces. Chris Paul, and it's hard to make Chris Paul the MVP, I get it, but Chris Paul just showed you why he was the most valuable player on the court for either team in this series. 4-0, the sweep for the Phoenix Suns, and I am all in on Chris Paul to win an NBA championship. In fact, at some point over the next week, before they play again, I'll probably bet on the Suns to win it all. I just want it. Whether it's a good bet or not, I don't really care. But I really want it to happen. I'm in love with this Suns team. I'm in love with Chris Paul. The way they play, they're so fun. They're so tough defensively. And they've got some really strong and physically dominant post players. Ayton's been incredible. Crowder's been really good. Booker and Chris Paul are just so tough to handle, so tough to stop. Really fun team. Great coaching, Monty Williams. Great coaching all the way around. Congrats to Phoenix. Awesome win. And for Denver, the Denver sports media base, ouch, and sports fan base, they lost 8 consecutive playoff games between the Avalanche and the Nuggets. Yikes. Not great. Not great for the Nets, who continue to play poorly, and they just got Kyrie Irving hurt. Irving bad. Bad. Really bad ankle turn, and he could be out for a while. And now James Harden, he may be out for Game 5. And we may see Kyrie Irving be out for Game 5. All of a sudden, that series is, whoa. Milwaukee's got a path here. If they could win Game 5 on the road and then go home for Game 6, they could knock out Brooklyn. Now, Brooklyn might get Harden back at some point, but it looks like Kyrie's going to miss significant time. That was not a little injury. That was pretty serious. So they're in trouble. We laid the 1.5. That didn't hit. And then we had the over 5.5 goals between Tampa and the Islanders. As I told you last night, I sprinkled a little bit on the Islanders to win this series. And what I'm hoping, what could be kind of neat, I got plus 250 odds on it. I'm hoping that the Tampa Bay Lightning actually would lose Game 2, because I still think they win the series, but you're going to get great value. You may even get really good value on Tampa now, and I may even come back and hedge off of it and guarantee myself a profit after the Game 1 win for the New York Islanders. The odds are totally going to switch. I think it's like minus 109 or minus 110, something like that, for Tampa to win the series. I got to see. It was like minus 240 before Game 1. So there may be a chance to kind of get some more value out of both sides of that and play both sides. if you want to jump in that way, you can do that. I'll have more on the hockey betting you can do here in just 1 second. But so that series is interesting. Both goalies played really, 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 really well. 2-1 win for the Islanders. And then after the game, my gosh, just a lot of negative things being said in the media about Tampa and their effort, their head, where their focus was, what their intensity level was. Not what you want to hear after a Game 1 loss of a semifinal. It should be called the Eastern Conference Finals, but it's not because there's no real. Because hockey is so crazy and weird. But here we are. All right, so for today, 3 bets, player props as well, because we have 2 NBA games. I'm going to tell you right here at the top, I don't know what to do with the Clippers and the Utah Jazz. I'm leaning towards taking the Clippers at 4.5 to lay the 4.5, but without knowing about Donovan Mitchell and without knowing for sure what's going on with Mike Conley, we got to wait till much closer to game time. I probably won't make it official. I'll have a personal play in this game, though, and we have to wait and see what happens with the injury news. If Mitchell's out, that number is going to spike. And without Mitchell and without Conley, I don't know. That's a lot to ask of that Clipper team to hang around. So even with a hobbled Mitchell, I still feel like the right side's the Clippers, but they're so funky too. I don't know what to do with that. So I can't get involved with this game until we find out more about the injuries. I think the over probably is a good play, but I don't know yet. Again, the injury situation so murky with both Conley and with Mitchell, I just can't get involved. So I'm going to pause that. Player props potentially in that game, but we're going to pause that bet. First bet, I have 1 NBA, 1 NHL, and one Major League Baseball bet to give you. Okay, yeah, you do have a baseball bet today, amazingly enough. So here is where I'm going. Why don't we start with the biggest of the bets, because I am laying real juice, more juice than I normally ever lay here for the Vegas Golden Knights. Minus 258 on the Vegas Golden Knights on the money line. You are going to see everyone take the plus 240 on the other side for the Montreal Canadiens in the gambling media. All right? Everyone's going to be on Montreal today. It's just too much juice to pay for Vegas. I understand. No one wants to lay this type of juice. Remember, the books, I look at this a lot, and I know hockey, there's some crazy variants. The puck bounces, and there's all types of wacko things that happen, and home ice isn't that big. But let me lay out a couple things here. The Montreal Canadiens haven't left Canada in over a year. The Montreal Canadiens took on Winnipeg and Toronto in front of crickets. Legitimately like crickets, like the rats in the building. That's who was watching them play hockey. There was no atmosphere. There was no energy. This idea that Montreal is going to come in and they're going to use the crowd to their advantage when this is a bunch of kids who have never played in Vegas in a playoff series ever. They've never played in this building before like they're going to see coming up tonight. I know Carey Price is unbelievable, and he's why this team is currently there. But this is the biggest favorite in the last 31 years in a semifinal in the NHL. And it involves a team in Las Vegas. Think about this for a second. What is everyone going to do here in Vegas? They're going to pound the Knights, right? So the books have to juice it up. I laid minus 258 juice last night, okay? Minus 258. The only way you get any value out of this is I'm laying a full unit, which goes back into my whole idea of like full crowd, full unit, okay? So full crowd, Vegas, and I can't lay a half a unit on minus 258. There's no money to be made there at all. It's a joke. So I have to lay the full. If I'm betting Vegas, I got to bet a full unit. So I'm betting a full unit. Marc-Andre Fleury has history with the Montreal Canadiens. This team, Max Pacioretty, has history with the Montreal Canadiens. The Montreal Canadiens are the New York Yankees of hockey. Everyone who's ever grown up wearing skates, a helmet, and a hockey stick knows about the Montreal Canadiens. There is no overlooking the Montreal Canadiens. There is no, they're just a young team, we're going to destroy them attitude with Vegas. Absolutely not. Vegas understands what they're going to see, and they know how tough of a test they're going to be. But they played a team just like Montreal, but they played a better version of Montreal already, and that's Minnesota. And they beat them in 7. This series is not going to be quick. I think this is a 6-game series, right? I do. I don't think Vegas just wipes the ice with Montreal. But I don't think Montreal wins a game here in Vegas. In particular, game 1. I don't think they win game 1 here in Vegas. Maybe game 2. But I don't see them taking game 1. And I know why everyone's betting on Montreal, because I think it's wise if you want to sprinkle on the Canadiens to win the series. It's not a bad bet. It's not bad to throw 20, 30 bucks down on it. It's not a bad bet at all. You're getting ridiculous numbers, insane numbers. And if they were to win game 1, if Montreal shocks the world and wins game 1, and if the whole gambling media is right by taking the plus 240 and going against what I'm going to bet, and they take it, well, then that number is going to switch dramatically because Vegas will have lost home ice. The Bell Center is a real home ice advantage. Vegas hasn't left the country either, so they got to go to Canada, and they got to go up there and go, oh, geez, okay. Go through all the protocols and all the different things, all their COVID-19 testing and all the stuff. That there's a lot more to this series than just COVID-19 or just ice or just sticks or just pucks and scoring. There's a whole geopolitical, economic impact. Like, there's all these different things going into this series. And this is the one we all were watching all year long. What happens when the Canadian team has to leave Canada? What happens? Well, I'm going to tell you this. The Canadiens are coming to Las Vegas. We're open. We are 100% open. We are opening up new outdoor incredible venues. We are opening up all of our restaurants, all of our bars, all of our pools, everything, 100% capacity, including T-Mobile Arena at 100% capacity. Here in America, we have done a great job. We are almost done with COVID. Okay, we're not totally done, but we're almost done with COVID. Montreal in the country of Canada, nope. They are 6 months behind us. 6 months. These kids are going to get put into a bubble, and they're going to be staring out at beautiful women in beautiful weather. It's going to be 105 degrees today here in Vegas. The pools are going to be hopping. Can't go to the floor. Can't go to the restaurants. Can't go to the bars. You're a millionaire. You're a young kid on the road in Las Vegas. This is the reverse Vegas flu. Okay, this is the, oh my gosh, I can't believe our country is nothing like this. We can't do any of this. You guys get to do all this stuff. They're here, and they're staying here. This is not like an in and an out, right? You fly in, you practice. Tonight, what do you do? Tomorrow night, what do you do? Next night, what do you do? You're here for 2 games. This is the type of stuff that back when the Vegas Golden Knights started, it was called the Vegas flu. Now, it's because guys were out partying and going out all night. They can't do that anymore. They're going to have to sit there in the hotel rooms and be bored out of their minds while they listen to people party and have a grand old time all around them. Okay? Game 1, I'm comfortable. 1 unit, Vegas, home ice, home crowd, rocking environment. This is the Montreal Canadiens coming in. Everyone knows who they are. They may not know much about their players, but they know about Carey Price, and they know how their style of play is very frustrating. That home ice, that home crowd gives a jump to Vegas. Everybody in Canada that I've been arguing with about this game, they keep on saying that home ice doesn't matter, home ice doesn't matter. Okay, we'll see. I think it does. I think that environment matters a ton. When you play in front of 2,500 fans and you go to 17,000, it's like playing, listening to a soloist doing a violin solo and then hearing a jet engine next to your ear. It's a big darn difference. I'm taking Vegas. I'll lay the juice. Vegas at home, 1 unit, full unit bet, Vegas money line to win game 1 against Montreal. Number 2, let's talk about the NBA. I told you I can't touch the late game with Clippers and the Utah Jazz. Personally, I may get involved, but not for the podcast. So let's talk about Philadelphia at Atlanta. Look, I'm probably going to have to say this. I'm wrong, okay? I don't think the Hawks are going to win this series. I would be really, really surprised if they were to come back. The DeAndre Hunter injury has been just huge for this team. I didn't think it was going to be as big as it is, but it's a monster injury. They don't look like the same team, and they have no answer for Philadelphia right now. They have no answer for Embiid. They have no answer because Trae Young is going up against the biggest point guard in the game in Ben Simmons. And when him and Tobias Harris trap Trae Young, he looks like a freshman in high school playing against the varsity. Like he doesn't know what to do. And Bogdanovich can't do everything to make up for what Trae Young does. I don't see how Atlanta gets rolling, and I don't see how Atlanta scores enough to, or even plays defense enough to stop Joel Embiid and company. Embiid's knee injury is fine. He's looked great in this series. The number is only 3. I'm laying the 3 here. I know there may be some money coming in on Atlanta. This is the season. The other reason why I'm betting this is because if Atlanta wins this game, they can win the series. So our plus 155 bet is alive if Atlanta wins this game. So the worst thing would be like Philadelphia wins by 2 or 1. That's the worst case scenario, but I'm just going to assume that doesn't happen. Either Philadelphia wins and covers or Atlanta wins outright. And so I laid the 3 with the Philadelphia 76ers. Over the last 5 games, Atlanta is 2 and 3. 3 and 2 to the number. They've not covered the last 2 games. Philly is 7 and 3 over the last 10 covering, but they've covered the last 2 games, winning by 16 both games, covering by 9.5 and by 14. The first game, they lost by 4. It was somewhat of a shocker, but this is it. If Atlanta wins tonight, our bet is alive. This is kind of me hedging off of the half a unit we bet at plus 155 on Atlanta to win the series. So if Philadelphia wins tonight, it's 3-1. It's over. If Atlanta wins tonight, 2-2, they're still alive. Now, technically, they could still lose the series. I get it, but I don't think so. Like, they have to win this to be alive, and I think they could win the series if they wind up winning Game 4. I'm going to lay the 3 points here. Philadelphia -3 against Atlanta. I just don't think Trae Young can do enough offensively against this defensive matchup, and I think Doc Rivers has done a really good job here with his adjustments and taking Trae Young out and making somebody else beat them, and there just isn't somebody else on that roster for the Atlanta Hawks that can beat the Philadelphia 76ers, in particular if Ben Simmons is going to the basket hard, if Ben Simmons is playing defense and he's trying to get others in action. His free throws are abysmal. Doesn't really matter. You may have to do Hacka Simmons, if you will, but I'll take the team that's playing better against the team that's really having a tough time. I know Atlanta's at home. I'm going to lay the 3 points here. Philadelphia -3. Okay, and then one more game to get into, and it's the Red Sox against the Toronto Blue Jays. It's the 4th game of their 4-game set. Red Sox won Game 1 6-5. They lost 7-2 and 18-4 the last 2 days. Nathan Eovaldi goes to the mound up against a rookie who has never pitched at Fenway Park before. These are one of the games where, look, I don't bet baseball all that often. It's my team, so I tend to look for spots for my team. Nathan Eovaldi's been pretty good this year. His ERA is a little high at 7-3, but Nathan Eovaldi has been a pretty good guy. He has not allowed that many home runs, which is big. And the Red Sox starting pitching has been hit like a piñata in this series. In particular, over the last 2 games, it's been ridiculous to watch and see what has happened to the Red Sox starting pitching. I think Eovaldi can right the ship here a little bit before the Red Sox go on the road. They play tomorrow against Atlanta on the road. So it starts a pretty far road trip. Boston will play Atlanta, Kansas City, and Tampa before they come back home to take on the Yankees on the 25th of June, rather. So this is a big game. You want to win the last game. You want to even up the series. And I think the Red Sox bats are due to come to life against a kid who's never pitched at Fenway Park before. And this Red Sox lineup can make you pay if you aren't. He's pitched well. Kid's pitched well, but he's 1-0 with a 3.14 ERA. 6'6", big kid, but I'm going to expect the Red Sox to be able to knock him around a little bit here. And the Red Sox bullpen is pretty well rested. I'll lay the -118 here on the Red Sox to get a victory, to stop the 2-game slide, and for Eovaldi to pitch well enough to calm down everybody in Boston who's been freaking out, going, oh my gosh, here comes the starting pitching that we all were worried about. They keep on getting hit like crazy, and this lineup for the Blue Jays is so darn talented. Yep, and maybe they scored all their runs yesterday. I do like to come back. This is kind of just like a situational bet, but when a team scores 18 runs the day before, chances are they're going to lose the next day or not score as many games the next day. So Red Sox money line at -118 for a half a unit. Okay, so 3 bets. We've got 2 full units in play for 3 bets. Player props will be coming later on today, so I'll have a little bit more in action than a normal Monday because of that bet with the Vegas Golden Knights. But Vegas Golden Knights money line -258, right? Yeah, -258 for 1 unit. Philadelphia Sixers -3 against Atlanta, -110 for a half a unit, and Red Sox money line at -118 for half a unit on the money line against the Toronto Blue Jays. Those are our 3 plays for a Mondays, pushing the odds back with player props coming up. And remember, the Discord chat will happen today at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time for you guys to pick your bet coming up for Tuesday. You'll nominate and you'll vote. Bonus. This is a bonus. I don't bet the Discord. I bet the Discord bet. It doesn't count for my record. I'm not going to bet this. However, I'm going to allow you guys to recommend soccer bets to your fellow listener, your fellow person. So if you're ramping to go and want to talk about soccer and make a case for soccer bets, here's your chance to do it. I will tweet it out. I will put it on the @everything. I'll alert the entire Discord channel that you guys have voted. I'll let you vote as well to pick a soccer bet. So there'll be 1 bet on the Discord for non-soccer and 1 bet on Discord for soccer. So if you've been jonesing for some soccer bets and a crowdsourced soccer bet, that's where we're going to come up with one coming up for the Euros or Copa America, whatever you guys come up with, whatever you guys want to do. I don't follow this stuff very well. I'm totally clueless, so you guys can recommend it. You vote, you pick, and you guys, I won't bet it either. I'll just put it up there. You can fade or follow it, but a crowdsourced soccer bet is coming tomorrow during the Discord Stages live chat, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time for us on the Discord channel. BettingPros.com/chat to get in, or underneath me, the link here on YouTube to get in. My name's Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter @SportsTalkMatt every morning. The Daily Juice podcast right here on BettingPros.com. Brought to you by BetMGM.